I wanted to get to building the Pokorny Engineering TGRH wheel, but as I started planning the build, I decided to make a video instead. One of the best parts about sim racing is that you can use any wheel you want, no matter which wheelbase you have. While most people get a wheel that works natively with the wheelbase they already have, third-party options often get you exactly what you're looking for. There are some things you need to know before you decide to spend your hard-earned cash on a wheel that you can't just plug in and drive with. One of those things is pitch circle diameter. It's short for the diameter of an imaginary circle that passes through the center of all the bolt or stud holes on a circular pattern, like your steering wheel. The standard relevant numbers for most of this discussion are 70 millimeters PCD, which is the larger of the imaginary circles that runs through these holes on the outside of the podium hub. 50.8 millimeter PCD is the smaller of the imaginary circle that intersect the three inner holes on this podium hub. Let's talk more about hubs. Hub is a generic term that describes something that connects other things. When you're talking about the connection between the wheel and the wheelbase, there are some words that you have to use so that folks know what you're talking about, and so that you don't buy the wrong thing to connect to your new or new to you fancy shiny wheel. Those words are adapter, spacer, and quick release. And you might ask, Marlon, aren't these all the same thing? No, they aren't. Any single part of the connection between your wheelbase and your wheel can be almost any combination of these three things. An adapter changes one type of connection to another. For example, you might use an adapter to connect a 50.8 millimeter PCD hole pattern on your wheel to a quick release with a 70 millimeter hole pattern. A spacer simply extends the stack of connectors between the wheel and the wheelbase. Usually when people say hub, they mean this. Also, people tend to use this word when a device only extends the stack. So like here, you've got a hub or spacer that would go from a 70 millimeter pattern on a wheel to a 70 millimeter pattern on a quick release. A quick release connects the wheel or a stack of connectors to the wheelbase. It's a two-piece unit that has a base side like this and a wheel side like what's on here. Gotta connect them correctly. And that forms a nice solid connection between your base side and your wheel side. They fit together like this so that you could take a wheel off of your wheelbase and then attach another wheel quickly. When you orient them correctly, it's fast. If you don't know what you're doing and they're the wrong way, it actually keeps you from doing it. So if you have important things like pins and holes in there, they don't get messed up. Usually the base side is integrated into the wheelbase and the wheel side is attached to the wheel. Most wheelbases require a specific quick release, and a few allow you to actually change the base side connector. Some examples of what you might experience when connecting a wheel to your wheelbase that is not from the same ecosystem, meaning a third-party one. right here is a podium hub connected to a QR2 wheel side. I use a Fanatec wheelbase with the QR2 quick release. The wheel side connector can be used with the podium hub, which is an adapter that connects the QR2 wheel side to a part using either a 70 millimeter PCD or a 50 millimeter PCD hole pattern. It does extend the stack, so technically it's a spacer, but I don't think anyone's going to call it that. However, the QR2 side, wheel side quick release doesn't have a 70 millimeter or 50.8 millimeter PCD hole pattern. They're intentionally rotated and unevenly spaced to keep you from mounting it upside down. So if you want to attach a QR2 to a wheel with a standard 70 millimeter hole pattern, you need to use this podium hub adapter or some other kind of adapter. Some wheels have a 50.8 millimeter PCD hole pattern. And to connect a wheel to something with any different hole pattern, you need an adapter. But the QRX quick release actually has both 50 and, let's see if you can see it, 50 and 70 millimeter PCD holes. So in this case, I don't actually need an adapter for a 50 millimeter hole pattern. So if you've got a wheel with a 50.8 millimeter hole pattern, you can connect the QRX directly to it. However, there are quick releases that often need a spacer because they only use threaded holes. This podium hub adapter is like this. Also, many of the NRG quick style releases are the same way. Threads on any component require a bolt to pass through the adjacent stack component into it. If that adjacent part is a wheel, then you have to open the wheel so you can put a bolt through it. For example, this is the GT Max 32 from GSI. And you see this spacer, the red thing. The spacer with a lip allows you to pass bolts through the lip. Let's see if I can show that in there. Through the lip so that you don't have to open the wheel. In addition to not having to open the wheel, a spacer with a lip can also let you thread bolts through the spacer and into a quick release. I don't have it mounted this way, but if you wanted to put a bolt through this spacer and into this quick release, that would work. Excuse me. This right here is a QR2 to QRX stack. Actually, this is a shaft extension. Let me see if I can get you the right one. This is a QR2 to QRX stack. So it goes from the QR2 base side on my wheelbase into a QR2 wheel side connection, and then connects a QRX base side connection. And there's also an adapter in here that goes from the non-standard QR2 wheel side connection to a standard 70 millimeter pattern on the QRX base side. So when I want to put a QRX wheel on my QR2 wheelbase, I use this. So I put this on my wheelbase, super confusing. Then if I want to use that Max 32 wheel with the QRX base side, I put this on my wheelbase with the adapter. And yes, that makes my stack super long, but seems to work out. Fanatec doesn't allow you to change the base side connector on the wheelbase. So this is pretty much the options you have to go with if you want to use the quick release that isn't the one that's on your wheelbase. You have to stack them. With a wheelbase that doesn't use the same style, you have to stack the native quick release with the quick release that you want to use. In my case, that's the Cube Controls QRX. Hopefully, this video helped you get familiar with a few of the ways you can attach a wheel to your wheelbase. Staying in one ecosystem usually means that you don't have to figure this stuff out. But if you don't figure this stuff out, then you're missing out on a lot of great third-party wheels like the Pokorny TGR-H. If you liked what you saw in this video, leave a comment below. If you didn't like it, leave a comment below. If you buy anything with the affiliate links that you see in the bottom description, I make some money. I need you to know that because I'm not trying to steal money from you. Subscribe to be notified when I make another video. And if there's something you want to see, let me know. I might make a future video about it. I'll see you in the next one.